Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18. Today we are talking about what's shaping India's future: skills, education, employment. Friends Union for Energizing Lives, or FUEL, a social enterprise focused on empowering Indian youth with career guidance, skills training and essential resources, is bridging the gap between education and industry through strategic partnerships. With a major MOU with the Maharashtra government to skill thousands of youth and a strong presence at Davos, FUEL is taking its mission global. Joining us are two changemakers driving this mission: Ketan Deshpande, founder and CEO FUEL; Santosh Huralikoppi, chief mentor at FUEL. Gentlemen, great to have you here.
Thank you.
I am very intrigued about this MOU because it's very unique in its own way in terms of the first perhaps that has been signed in upskilling and at that level. Ketan, please tell us about this MOU and what does it mean for FUEL and for your future prospects and strategic partnerships?
Thank you so much, Mugdha. And the MOU at Davos is always an inspiration. And governments have gone beyond their thought process of land, building and electricity. They're also working on human resource requirement of the large companies. So this MOU is specially made so that human resources are ready before the actual investment starts, so that young India not only looks this as a CapEx investment, but also as an investment in skills. And our MOU is exactly for future skills for the youth of Maharashtra, where we train them for the investments which are being made at Davos.
Wonderful. Santosh, but you know, Maharashtra's ambition is huge to become a $1 trillion economy, and that too by 2029. How do you think that is going to happen? Because, of course, there is infrastructure, but we also need to have the talent.
Yeah, historically, if you see, Maharashtra has always been a trendsetter, whether it be it manufacturing, be it services. And now with a $1 trillion economy mission by 2029, under the leadership of Honorable CM Fadnavis ji, we see that this is going to happen with the right skills. And through skills, we can achieve this kind of a target, because in a $1 trillion economy, 1/3 of that would go towards, I would say, manpower and skills. Sure. So about $300+ billion of things are going to happen. And I think Maharashtra state is on the right track to give impetus and focus for the skills.
There's so much happening even in the industries that we are concentrating on, and the government is looking at not just the sunrise industries, but also the ones that have been there and are doing such fabulous job. But the skill development is suffering across sectors. Which are your key sectors that you are concentrating on, Ketan?
So traditionally, if you see, there are sectors which give you jobs. And India has been a world where ITS is one of the prime job taker for the youth. So we are focusing on IT skilling, wherein digital marketing, artificial intelligence, these are some of the big areas which the human resources are needed. Along with that, fintech and BFSI is the second focus area, where they need a lot of human resources. The students need to be equipped with those future skills. So BFSI, that is through School of Management, we are focusing on. And we're focusing on EV and mechanical trades also, so that automobile industry is also getting those niche areas of skilling which is required. So primarily ITS, which focuses on AI, core Java, those are some of the skills that we are focusing on.
When we talk about, Santosh, these industries that you are prioritizing, and you're looking at about upskilling over 5,000 youth annually, where is the tech know-how coming from? Where is the course curriculum being developed at? Because that we see as one of the major challenges in any university or an educational institute at the moment, that technology and the know-how is running so fast that by the time the academia catches up with it, it is already very late or it is redundant. How are you bridging that gap?
So FUEL has been fortunate for working with very large Fortune 500 companies, be it technology, be it manufacturing, be it services companies for the last 10 years. And many of them work with us under their CSR and sustainability. So what has happened is, over a period, we have developed relationship where the course curriculum is being developed in association with the industry. So what it means is from day one, we are teaching a student which is approved by and kind of designed by the industry. So which is in tune with what the industry needs. What you say is right. By the time we are teaching industry 4.0, industry has moved to 5.0 or maybe 6.0.
Absolutely.
So catching up is always going to be a challenge. The only way I think is working very closely, more like a cooperative model. There's a German cooperative model where the student has to kind of work in the industry along with study.
True.
So that kind of a model Fuel is developing.
You know, one of the things that is very heartwarming about Fuel is how you change lives actually. I have been to the campuses and seen students, interacted with them, and it is so heartening to see how confident they are, irrespective of their backgrounds, where they are coming from, once they are at Fuel and once they are getting out of Fuel, different personality. It will be a rhetoric question how satisfying it is, because I'm sure it is deeply satisfying. But do tell us a little more about what fuels your ambition at Fuel with these young students and how you're changing their lives.
I'll speak, but I'll also have Ketan add to
Yes.
what I'm saying. I think fundamentally, if you go back a little, about 15, 16 years back when Fuel started, it was more a student activism. Ketan was 19 years when he started this, seeing a problem about career counseling. And then we have come a long way in terms of getting into education, scholarship, and skilling. So the innovation has happened based on kind of industry needs, and we have continuously kind of transformed ourselves to change the lives of the students. So what is needed today is, like I just mentioned about skills, and Fuel is working with industries to bridge that gap of skills so that these underprivileged students get high quality content, high quality education, and when they go back to industry, they are relevant to the industry. That's the most important part, because you may be from the tier 1 school, but if you are not relevant to industry, then you will still not get a job.
Sure.
So Fuel is trying to bridge that gap, and I'll have Ketan also add to this question.
It's very emotionally satisfying, actually. The first generation learner of the family wanting to do something in careers, and we're building those careers for them. And I have such inspiring stories. They stay in 100 square feet home. Father is a farmer, wants him or her to grow in her career, and we supported her, and she's become into an MNC company. So these are the real stories of India which come out, and finally they get the livelihood which they are deserving. And we are done to such a grassroots level that we make them sit in air condition for 8 hours so that they don't get the actual climate which they want to practice in the IT companies. So that kind of preparation is being done on the ground level, and they do the data analysis of thousands of companies. They by heart their CEOs, the financial data analysis of those reports. That really helps them to integrate.
That confidence as well, because I think that is one of the challenges. Even though you have the merit, you lack the confidence, and I think that confidence is also one of the skills that needs to be developed.
Absolutely.
The Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis, has been so instrumental in your journey of signing this MOU. You know, he noticed and he supported. So good work gets its spotlight. What was that experience like? Tell us about that.
In fact, Mr. Fadnavis saw primary work long back, 15 years, and we invited him to inaugurate skill centers in Nagpur. And from there on, he has seen the journey what Fuel has done. And when we wrote a letter about our work which we are doing and why we wish to sign an MOU, because our partners are global, our investors are global, they were there at Davos. So we wanted to demonstrate them about how Fuel is working for the global skills. Because unless you demonstrate that the global skills which are required, the global placements need to happen,
right,
you have to be at the global platform. So I think we are thankful to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and the entire team of Maharashtra government. They acknowledged their efforts, our efforts, and we signed an MOU with them. And we promised them that we will do a good job for the industries to come here. And we also told industries that, like land, building, electricity, you'll also have the human resources ready on day one.
We are talking about skills. So tell me more about the Fuel Skill University. And then I want to know from you, Santosh, how is it different from any other university that is there?
Now, this is a very unique concept. The Fuel Skill University was born out of corporates supporting us. They said, day one, that students should be job ready. And we want to integrate the industry curriculum and the academics together. So that's how the university is built, on those ethos, where the corporates give the syllabus, the L&D team is involved in creating the syllabus, and then finally we are deporting those students to the jobs. Now this really helps students to get internships, to get placements, and finally a dream job of theirs. So it's a very unique combination, and we are involving the employee volunteers who are involved in the selection process. So that really makes that employee feel comfortable that I am going to invest in a human resource whom I know where he or she is coming from. So those human resources are coming, and it's making a unique combination. But poor students should not get poor resources. So cutting edge technologies, giving them the right infrastructure, and giving them the accredited degree at the end of the program is also built on those ethos. So this gives the industry a perfect solution, that you build with us the curriculum, we place them, and you get your ready manpower from day one.
Incredible. Santosh?
Yeah, I think just to add what Ketan said, if you see Fuel started more like a grassroots non-profit organization towards social enterprise, that itself was a big transformation in terms of where it kind of came in. And why this university concept came in is because we were working like spokes across the country. Like we had a project in, say, Nagpur, we had a very large project in UP, Chandigarh, like that. So our hub was not being created, where a center of excellence, where we develop content, and where the PhD holders should come and work for us to develop the world-class content. So that kind of gave us a trigger to start an institute, and then now an university. So the uniqueness is, one is our own transformation, I would say, as you can call an NGO to a social enterprise. That's a very big transformation. Second is our collaborations with the industry from day one, because we have worked with them from last 10 years. The third is international collaborations. Both Ketan and I are already fellows to Cambridge Judge Business School, and we also are collaborating with many other foreign universities from day one. So those all, I think, kind of a mix together gives this the students, like the underserved, underprivileged students, an edge to compete with the global world and also get the right jobs because they are learning the right skills.
Right. You are Dr. D.C. Pavate Fellow and Ashoka Fellow at Cambridge, and that must also tell you that why these excellence centers have to be created, and why these excellence centers need to invest in knowledge, in research, your own publications. I do see a very interesting book here. We should talk about that as well. Is that the story from grassroots to a social enterprise, as you were talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a story written by me and Santosh to inspire more social entrepreneurs to come. And I wish to share that most complex social problems are solved by social entrepreneurs, but you need a lot of them. So that's why, to inspire many other social entrepreneurs, we have written this journey, which will help others to also choose these pathways. And unfortunately, commercial entrepreneurs are celebrated in a very big way, but social entrepreneurs are creating deep impact. More than valuation, they're creating the values for the youth. So that's something which is very important need of our country.
Fantastic. Best of luck for the book.
Thank you.
But we have to talk about your Davos experience, so we will slip into a very short break. All right, that is some incredible work happening on the ground. But Fuel is not just making an impact in India, it's also taking its vision global. So stay with us, we'll be right back.
Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18. Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18.
Welcome back. You're watching Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18. Let us now talk about how Fuel took its vision to Davos and built powerful global connections. Very exciting time at Davos, and I read about what was happening there, and of course we've been talking about your own experiences. What stood out for you?
I think the sheer energy of the room, in the room for the investors, and the way they were mentally prepared to talk to each one of us. I think that's something which stood out from the entire conversation. We met global CEOs, global leaders who are working in different backgrounds, but yet their humbleness to communicate with all the entrepreneurs, investors was something very unique. And we felt that we could strategically meet them, connect with them from all parts of the world,
Right.
and they were able to share their cars, connect, and then possibly the connections. It was like a speed dating, but yes, it was worth because a lot of them responded back,
Fantastic.
connected, and took this initiative further.
I think because the model that you're working on can be replicated in any country, because upskilling and employment is such a huge task in the face of whatever's happening in the tech landscape. So I'm sure there was a lot of curiosity also to study the fuel model.
Yeah, we met global CEOs who were very happy to know that this kind of model is there. They wanted to learn, and they sent their global teams to observe us. So it was an excellent opportunity for any social entrepreneur or entrepreneur to showcase their model and get their interest back. And in fact, we had an example where a global CEO wrote to us saying that we met at Davos briefly, but we wish to connect further. And then he decided to support us. So that's something very excellent about Davos.
Any global partnerships that you struck there or are in the talk that you can talk about right now?
A lot of global
was-
partnerships with very large Fortune companies, be it Indian companies and be it global corporations. And luckily, we already have a lot of global partners who are supporting us who were there. Just to name, we had Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC, and all these have been already our existing partners. And they were there. Capgemini was there. And that helped us to reconnect with them. Microsoft was there.
Right.
So that way, it was like telling them that, okay, we do this in India, we also can do global work.
Right.
And one very important part about this World Economic Forum I found was the focus about sustainability and the focus about creating a better world for everyone. So even the corporate leaders were in tune with what's happening around the world in terms of the sustainability and organizations like Fuel, how they can contribute. Because on one side, everyone wants growth. I'm sure like industries need growth and year on year. But with growth, how do we have a sustainable growth?
Yeah.
So I think organizations like Fuel plays a very important role to balance this kind of growth versus sustainable growth.
Right.
And we were right there because there was focus on education, there was focus on climate. And so I think overall, the leaders whom we met were very energized to see that Fuel, and Fuel has that word, energizing lives.
Right.
So probably that helped. So yeah.
You guys have already worked with so many corporates, Capgemini, Yes Bank Foundation, LTI Mindtree. What stands out to you, Ketan, about the changing mindset also in the corporate landscape?
No, as I mentioned to you, corporates want legacies to be created. And corporate wants an impact on ground.
Right.
So all of them have matured from their CSR cycle. They want their employees to be involved. They want a democratic decision process in selecting the courses, selecting the beneficiaries. They want the reports. They want the impact, as well as they want you to do a grassroots thorough implementation. So no longer you can implement a program just theoretically. You have to be practically correct. You have to be industry ready, and they expect you to deliver the training which is at par to any other resources.
Right.
So the change which I am seeing, and which is a positive change, is we work in a project mode. We work in an implementation mode that really makes the grassroots difference. So that is creating the impact. Second is they want them also the proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
They want to hire them back so that they know that the training was quality. The training also helps them in the implementation of the program. Diversity and inclusion, ESG scores needs to be improved. So all that is framed in the corporates working.
Seeing measurable outcomes from that partnership. But you are getting entrenched in deeper partnerships with organizations and corporates. Tell us more about that.
Just to give, we can give one example, and also we can talk about it. We're working with Capgemini as a very classic example, where there are thousands of skilling happening, but the content is given by the organization, and then we skill them, and then there's a recruitment also happening.
Yeah.
So this kind of a very innovative models, I think, is where the world is moving towards. And instead of, we teach something and then expect the companies to hire, rather we work very closely with them, and we can change, course change. The new education policy talks about it. If you see, like they are talking about skilling from grade 7, grade 8 onwards. So the importance of skill versus education, I think, is coming to the forefront. And I always tell people that it is not like education or skills, it's education and skills. So both are equally important, because if you have a skill, you can always get some job, you can do your own thing. And education comes in handy because you get knowledge out of that. So it's kind of a hand in glove kind of a role. You want to add, Ketan, to what I said?
I actually want to know from Ketan, where are you taking this mission of yours? And I want to know what message do you want to leave with our audience about what is Fuel going to do in the next 2-3 years, because 5 years will be a transformatory. So I'm going to concentrate on the next 2-3 years as to what are your plans.
So we're bridging the skill universities coming up. We invite corporate partners to co-invest in us. 5 schools we have. Each school has a unique definition and audience reach. We've already got 2 schools supported by corporates as a legacy. The few are coming up in lineup. We also have global partners now. They, like, for example, VFS Global is supporting us in Indonesia also, where the youth are trained in futuristic skills. So even global partners are relying on us. So India is progressing to even skill the youth of the other countries. So we see that Fuel has a great vision for our country, where we impact thousands of youth in skilling, focusing on future skills so that we can give the employment to the first generation learners, create economic opportunities for them. So I visualize at least 5 universities in various states of India. We're doing first one in Maharashtra, but there's a lot of interest from different states to see the model, hoping to see next 3 to 5 universities in next 3 to 5 years from now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and best of luck for all the work that you are planning to do in future, and for those collaborations and partnerships. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Mukta. Thank you so much.
Well, what an inspiring conversation. It's clear that Fuel is not just skilling people, it's shaping India's future. Of course, a very big thanks to Ketan and Santosh for sharing their insights, and to our audience. Thank you for joining us on Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18. Stay curious, stay future ready, and we'll see you next time. Want to make a real impact? Fuel is building India's premier skill tech university to empower 20,000 plus students with future-ready education. Recognized by the Honorable PM and President of India, over 2,900 scholarships have been awarded, shaping careers in top organizations. Be a part of this lasting change. Visit www.fuelfornation.com and www.fuelbschool.com.
Fuel Business School presents Future Ready with Fuel in association with CNBC TV18.